Mechanism of hormone action. Hormones produce their effects on target tissues by binding to specific proteins called hormone receptors. The hormone receptors are specific proteins. Hormone receptors are located in the target tissues only. Hormone receptors are of two types. One present on the cell membrane and the other type which are present inside the target cells. So the hormone receptors which are present on the cell membrane of target cells are called membrane bound receptors. Hormone receptors which are present inside the target cell are called intracellular receptors, mostly nuclear receptors. Binding of a hormone to its receptor. Binding of a hormone to its receptor, which is a protein, leads to formation of hormone receptor complex. Each receptor is specific to one hormone only. Receptor is specific to one hormone only, and hence receptors are specific. Hormone receptor complex formation leads to certain biochemical changes in the target tissue, metabolism, and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. Target tissue metabolism and hence physiological functions are regulated by hormones. On the basis of their chemical nature, hormones can be divided into groups like peptide polypeptide protein hormones, steroid hormones, iodothyronins, and amino acid derivatives. Peptide, polypeptide, and protein hormones include insulin, glucagon, pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones. Steroids include cortisol, testosterone, estradiol, progesterone. Iodothyronins include thyroid hormones. Now, here remember TCT, that is thyrocalcitonin, is also a thyroid hormone, but TCT is a protein hormone. So, TCT is a protein hormone, and this is given in your textbook. Epinephrine, that is epinephrine is a catecholamine. So catecholamines are also amino acid derivatives. Catecholamines are secreted by adrenal medulla. Membrane bound receptors. Hormones which interact with membrane bound receptors normally do not enter the cell. So these hormones which bind to membrane bound receptors, they do not enter the cell but generate second messengers. These second messengers in turn regulate cellular metabolism. So examples of second messengers are cyclic AMP, IP3 and calcium ions. AMP is adenosine monophosphate, IP3 is inositol triphosphate. So here they have shown how hormone FSH, which is a FSH is a pituitary hormone. Pituitary hormone is a protein hormone. So how FSH binds to its membrane bound receptor on the ovarian cell membrane, and there is formation of hormone receptor complex. So this is hormone receptor complex, because you can see hormone is binding to the receptor. This hormone receptor complex generates a response, and this response leads to generation of second messengers, cyclic AMP or calcium in this case of FSH, where this cyclic AMP generates biochemical responses which lead to physiological responses, that is growth of ovary in this case, because it is FSH and it acts on ovarian membrane. Intracellular receptors. Hormones which interact with intracellular receptors like steroid hormones and iodothyronins, that is thyroid hormones. So steroid hormones and thyroid hormones, except TCT, which is a protein hormone, have intracellular receptors. Intracellular means within the cell. Receptors within the cell. So these hormones which interact with intracellular receptors mostly regulate gene expression or chromosome function. Okay, so what they do? They regulate gene expression or they regulate the chromosome function by interaction of, there is interaction of hormone receptor complex with the genome. Genome is nothing but DNA. Hormone receptor complex is the complex formed by hormone and its receptor. So here you can see this is uterine cell membrane, this thing, hormone, estrogen, it is lipid soluble and it has its receptor inside nucleus. So you can see here, you can see this thing is a receptor. Okay, so with this receptor which is intranuclear, this hormone estrogen binds to this intranuclear receptor. When hormone binds to its receptor, it forms hormone receptor complex. This hormone receptor complex binds to genome, binds to DNA at a specific sequence. There is a specific sequence to which this hormone receptor complex binds, and when this hormone receptor complex binds to the DNA at a specific sequence, it leads to formation of mRNA. And this mRNA forms proteins, and these proteins bring physiological responses, that is tissue growth and differentiation. Okay, so that's all for this video.